Some people idolize South Korea as if living in South Korea is easy. People post videos how it's so different from their home country, like how safe Korea is at night, and food is really great, but most of these videos are for short-term visiting, like traveling. And there are some long-term visit videos for work, and I'm glad to see many people liking Korea, but living and working in South Korea is not as easy as some people say. There are definitely good aspects. I do admit Korea is generally safer than many other countries. Yes, you can walk around the street at 2 a.m. without really worrying too much about crimes. And yes, living expense in South Korea can be cheap compared to Europe or US. But many people fail to see the sacrifice that comes with the perks. First thing you need to know about South Korea is that we basically have 9 to 6 work schedule. And it's already 1 hour more than 9 to 5 work schedule, and don't underestimate this because you will cumulatively work 5 more hours per week, and that's not small. Also, South Korea has outrageous overtime work hour as well. It's kind of expected that you work overtime from 6 to like 8 or 9 p.m. And of course you can say no to that, but the working culture in Korea is pretty toxic and you're likely gonna be labeled as lazy and selfish worker. And trust me, your work will become literal hell, not because of work itself, but because of politics played at work. And companies in Korea has communitarian culture and they don't want you to stand out, especially with things like not wanting to do overtime when everyone else does it. So on surface, government is encouraging to reduce work time, but it's pretty common that you have to work like 9 to 8 p.m. and sometimes during the weekend as well. So your work-life balance will be really messed up in long run, especially if you are from the countries where you have good employee welfares and good amount of vacation time. It's gonna be a tough ride here in Korea. And let's assume that you were okay with that and then you survived the long work hour, but it's still not over. It's common that the whole team goes for company dinner after work in Korea, and that often involves drinking until someone can't walk straight. I'm Korean and I'm not a big fan of drinking culture in Korea. It's basically asking you to be half alcoholic under the name of maintaining good relationship with your peers, and you will be dragged to drinking soju like 3 times a week. And the way I see it is that it's just about wagging tail to your supervisors for another couple hours after work, and you have to behave and act professionally the whole time, of course, because it's the extension of work, to be honest. And that really mentally drains you. If you're a type of person who needs alone time, this is literal hell. You will have to be stuck with your team that you may or may not like for a whole day from morning to night. You might say it's not an obligation to attend company dinner, and yes, you are correct. But again, you are considered to be rude and peculiar, which will ostracize you from the group and just make it hard for you. If I have to really pick one benefit of this culture is that you often don't really have to pay for the dinner. So you get free dinner, but that means you will be tense and have to stay sharp for hours in front of your higher ups. So I don't know if that's worth it. And let's say that you managed to do all this, that you're okay with long work hour plus being dragged into drinking, but there's more trap. Hanging out with your teams and supervisors for a company dinner might look like fun and good thing at first, but that will make you connect deeper with your colleagues, and that has some complications. After being all friendly, your supervisors or higher-ups often use their personal connection to take advantage of you outside of work, like insinuating it would be great if you can come for their family event, join the hiking, and tiny favors like can you drive me to here or there, which is often difficult to say no once you establish this personal connection with your boss. I know many developed countries are very strict about not using their position to take advantage of you outside of work, but South Korea is still having this problem. Like when your supervisors are considering your promotion, for example, your colleague with so-called social skill, which in this case is basically who's better at scratching their back, might affect more for decision. And when I was back in military, I have seen and heard many cases that because this guy is higher in rank, your whole family was acting like they are the servant of this guy, which was kind of disgusting to see. And you might think you can just straight say no to this, but when you are in the situation, you will see it's pretty hard to turn it down like small favors, and it will only get worse. And this culture of bowing down to your superior is not only for higher ups, it runs down the whole organization. I have seen some bosses text people out of work time and keep telling them what to do, and you can't really do anything about it. This is why I think many younger generations of Koreans are searching to work in other countries, and this whole work politics drains your soul, and your whole life will revolve around work and how to please your boss, which I don't think is really worth it. In short, your whole life is going to be sucked into work since you spend like 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. at work, and you gotta be people pleaser for everyone at work and have to endure this strict organizational culture. So I would say yes, there are some benefits in working in Korea, but what it's shown in K-drama and media are very different from reality. Yes, you will get some free dinner and drinks sometimes, and if you're a social person, you might enjoy being very close to your colleagues and your boss. But many Koreans are saying that this is really suffocating, and it explains why a record number of young Koreans are jobless right now, or if they did have job before, they are leaving their work because the culture of treating workers as consumable is beyond the tolerable level. So if you are thinking of coming to South Korea to work, I would recommend think more than twice. Thank you for watching.